What's really exciting about Xeros is the combination of some really innovative technologies.
Reducing pollution, helping people save water.
We're revolutionising the way that garments are processed and then cared for in their life afterwards.
With our technology, we can capture up to 90% microfibers.
Xeros has solutions for not just what business needs, but also what the planet needs as well. We're a green tech company, so we sit very firmly within that sustainable space. And we're very much focused on, in particular, two industries. The first being the production of garments, and the second being the care or the laundering of those garments. And what Xeros are doing at this very moment today is actually delivering savings to those industries from the perspective of water, energy, and indeed some of the pollutants, the chemicals that are used within that. And more laterally, we've moved heavily in the direction towards microplastic pollution capture as well.
The X-Filter is capable of taking 90% of microfibers out of the waste washing water, and that saves a huge amount of plastic entering the water cycle and the sea and into our food. The X-Filter is currently designed for a domestic market, but we're also looking at examples where we can apply this to larger commercial machines.
Demand for our products comes in multiple manners. Because we save water and because we save energy, there's naturally a cost saving that comes with that as well. So whether that's talking to garment manufacturers, garment machinery manufacturers, or indeed retail brands, they all want to try and find a way to produce their garments more efficiently. So there's a demand from all three of those sectors. The big development, which is coming imminently, is that we will launch the Xeros technology on a domestic laundry platform. So for the first time, consumers, people in the street will actually be able to see the water and energy saving benefits that come with Xeros technology and indeed the garment life extension.
5 or 6 years ago when I joined the company, if we were having this conversation, we were talking very much about water saving and the sustainability benefits of water saving. We've actually evolved our knowledge a little bit about sustainability around the laundry process. So care kind of encapsulates what we're trying to do with our polymer bead technology in domestic laundry. We're trying to care for the garments, we're trying to make them last longer. So indirectly, that is a much bigger benefit than the amount of water that we can save during one particular cycle. It's becoming a hot topic. It's more and more laundry brands are talking about it, and it's becoming a big sort of selling point and differentiator in the market. So through our polymer technology in the laundry process, we actually change the mechanical action in there and make it a more gentle action. So we avoid this rubbing of friction on friction of the garments together. That enhances the life of the garment. I mean, through this example, you can see here, this is a garment that's been washed with the Xeros technology, and this is a reference garment, and this is a brand new garment. And you can see from this that the Xeros garment is a lot closer after 6 washes to what it was like when it was bought. The actual standard garment has faded quite a lot. It's lost the colour. So the XOBs are the polymer beads that do the magic in the process, but actually we need a method of getting them out into the machine and into the process and controlling that and storing the XOBs. So this machine has a storage area at the back where we keep the XOBs, so they're in the drum at all times. They're kind of a feature that you can turn on and off when you want to use them. They have a valve to dispense the XOBs in the centre of the drum there. They come out in 1 to 2 minutes. They're continuously harvested through the lifters and work their way back into the storage. When we want to take the XOBs out, we close the dispensing valve, and then the remaining XOBs are harvested out of the process.
I think it's fair to say that Xeros as a business has been on a journey. There was a clear decision made by the board that we wanted to move towards a licensing business-to-business model. We recognize the fact that what we're very good at is development.
The decision that the board took a few years ago to develop that technology in-house and then put it in the hands of the right commercial partners to take it to a mass market is proving to be the right one. We've got those partners in place. They're excited about the technology just as much as we are, and we think that those people are really well positioned with our support to get this technology where it needs to be and have the impacts that it needs to have on the world.
We beefed up the commercial team. We brought in some really significant and serious people, not least the appointment of a chief commercial officer recently. And that has really enabled us to get much, much closer to the decision makers. So as we talk today, we have 3 current licensing partners in Europe for our filtration technology. We have 2 licensing partners for our finish technology, and we have 2 licensing partners for our care technology.
The finish technology uses the same polymer technologies in our clean technology. What we're using is using the Xeros to change the mechanical principles, the mechanical energy in the process. That allows us to distribute chemistry more evenly and get more out of the chemistry and actually increase the efficiency of the process. It's a great alternative to pumice stone. So traditionally in the industry, pumice has been used for many, many years, and it results in an effluent that's very difficult to deal with. So pumice starts like this kind of size. It's actually been overmined. So years ago, you would have got a larger size than this, but now you get a very small size. This will last for maybe 2 to 3 washes. It then becomes this size, which is basically useless. So this is the waste. This is the bigger part of the waste. 20% of it will be this size. Most of it will just be sludge that is no longer usable. So eliminating that from the process and being able to achieve the same results with chemistry and with our Xeros is a big benefit to the textile manufacturers. So if we take this garment as an example, this is 2 pairs of jeans that have been cut in half and stitched back together. This one has been processed with the Xeros technology. This one without the Xeros technology. They've gone through 3 or 4 different processes to get to this stage. One of these processes has been using a nebulizing spray, so trying to make a little bit of chemistry go a long way. The trouble with that is if you do that, you actually get this uneven patchy finish by making it stretch too far, the chemistry. But with the Xeros, we can get a more even finish and a more abraded finish. We get more out of the chemistry. This also allows a reduction in processing time and the use of chemistry. This means that this garment is exposed to the chemistry for less of a time. So this results in a stronger garment. So this will not only mean that we reduce the cost to make it and reduce the impacts of making it, but actually out there in the real world, it will last longer as well. So we're selling that into textile manufacturers. So we're working with OEMs to license the technology to put it inside their machines, who would then sell it into the textile manufacturers in the manufacturing bases across the world.
So if we just talk briefly about microplastics capture legislation. So France has gone, Jan 1st, 2025, all new washing machines will need to have that. The EU is hot on its heels, and our expectations is 2027 it will legislate. The UK similarly has got a private members bill, which we believe will influence DEFRA, probably in similar timelines, 2027. Xeros has been influencing a lot of this legislative landscape, and as such, we've made sure that the standards should be the very highest they can be. This clearly gives the Xeros technology a very good opportunity to get a good share of that market.
If we take our 3 strands of technology in turn, if we start with filtration, we know there are 100 million washing machines sold globally every year, and there's an install base of close to 1 billion machines that are sat around the world at the moment. We know that inside machine filtration solutions will be the norm. Might be 5 years' time, but they will be the norm. And we believe Xeros is well placed to capture its fair share of that market. We're working with the brands to make sure that when washing machine manufacturers move their platforms to an in-machine filtration device, that Xeros is the solution that they go for. If we move on to our finish technology, so at the moment, our finish technology is focused on the denim finishing industry. Now, there are, we believe, about 2 billion pairs of jeans made every year globally that go into the fashion market. So clearly we're talking big numbers here. And to make those jeans, there are between 8,000 and 10,000 garment finishing machines sold into that market every year. So adding Xeros technology into those means that the addressable market we can get to, it is a big number. It's hundreds of millions of pounds every year. The revenue that we will get from our licensed partners will drop through very quickly when it comes. We don't foresee the need to ramp up our spending in any way, really, over the next couple of years when the licenses start delivering the revenue that we know they're capable of doing. And that will mean that we see line of sight to month-on-month EBITDA and cash break even within 2024. When those license revenues start coming in, they will be high margin for us. So we have a cost base of about £5 million a year. And so we will can EBITDA break even on revenues of between £7 to £9 million. So the market for our care products, so that's kind of has 2 strands to it in the first place. So we have our commercial care products, which is the more mature product that we have out there. And the important thing about that market for us is that the Xeros that we introduce into that process is they work their magic, but then they need to come back to us to be recycled and reused where appropriate. And so we've got a business model which means we've got long-term access to the install base that is out there of our machines. We will be selling Xeros into those for the lifetime of those machines. And that's the really important part of that business for us. So it's an ongoing revenue stream for us. We believe we get the install base right of those denim finishing machines out there in the market. The Xeros revenue that we can generate from that will be a really significant part of our ongoing revenue.
I mean, we're very clear that there are a number of reasons to believe in the story. The first of those is that we genuinely have market-leading technology. whether we've had that validated by a third-party testing institute, or indeed whether we've had then conversations with washing machine or retail brands, we know that there's a clear demand for the product that we've got. The second piece is there's obviously a global sentiment, whether that is around water saving, energy saving, or indeed microplastics capture, which really reconfirm that we're pushing an open door here. This is the technology that people want. The third piece is that this is not theoretical technology. We have licensing partnerships already in place on all of our 3 technology platforms, which are ready to be able to escalate to deliver the return that we all want.
We see a number of opportunities across the technology platforms that we've got. They will all contribute in a significant way to the revenue numbers that we believe we will hit over the next couple of years. We don't like to say it's all going to come from filtration, or it's all going to come from care, or it's all going to come from finish, because we see the potential is across the piece.
My ambition is that this will be a global business, and we have meaningful conversations in place at this time, which give us that confidence that within that 3 to 5 year window, Xeros will be a brand name known by the industry.